You want to exercise the Carmichael.
We're all going to be punished.
This is another episode of CJ Reviews. I'm sorry it's been a little bit. Life's been busy, work's been busy. Things have been a little hectic around here, but I want to take a little bit of time today to talk about House Lineage, which is supposed to be the final film in the House LLC franchise. That's been big on Shudder, has a surprisingly large fan base for the budget of the films themselves, and really has become one of my favorite found footage franchises in a long time. There's been some good ones out there. There's been, Host. Obviously, the Blair Witch Project is a big one. There's been a few, right? Especially when you start looking at some of the mockumentary style ones, which frankly are my favorite, with films such as Lake Mungo and Strange Harvest from last month, which I really enjoyed. In fact, head over to the dfpn.com to check out an article that I wrote there for Strange Harvest. But House Lineage is a drastic departure from the other films. After A25 Forest Road, Stephen Cognetti decided to take Lineage into a third-person narrative as opposed to the found footage that we've seen in the past. And I think he does so successfully for a single film. I do think that the shift to an omnipresent viewpoint as opposed to found footage was a very drastic departure from the rest of the franchise, and I'm not sure that it had the impact that maybe the crew had wanted. That being said, it is a well done film, and there are still a lot of found footage sensibilities about the way it's shot. Right, there are quite a few close shots of the main character with something lurking just off in the shadows. There's a lot of movement behind the camera, out of view of the characters, that lends itself very well to the way found footage works, especially in dark rooms. There's one gag within the first 15 minutes that really kind of sets the tone there. So from a visual standpoint, I thought it was very well done. No really new surprises here from a overarching standpoint. Much of the story had already been fleshed out. This was Cognetti going through and tying up those loose ends and putting things together that may have been hinted at in the past, but had never fully come to fruition, right? But overall, I thought this was a very solid film. Definitely a 6 out of 10 for me. I definitely put it on the positive scale. I will go back and watch this again. But again, I think the big problem that a lot of people are having is with that shift in perspective. So I'm very interested to see what Cognetti and his team are able to do with the franchise outside of Hell House. Again, A25 Forest Road I thought was a great step in that direction. But I kind of wish that he had left the omnipresent, omniscient narrator, this being the camera, right? I wish that he had left that for a Forest Road franchise or a separate franchise and really stuck to the found footage with this one. That being said, it's an effective horror film. It really is. There's twists, there's turns. There's a couple reveals near the end and about the halfway mark that I thought were really well done. The story's tightly written. There was one scene at the beginning in a fairground that if you've seen this, you kind of get the importance of the carnival or the fairgrounds with regards to the entirety of the story. I wish they had been able to spend a little bit more time there, but I think from what I've seen from Cognetti, I think it may have been a budgetary constraint with them not being able to shoot there. But yeah, overall solid film. The effects are very well done. It is creepy. It is stylistic. It still has that kind of grainy, not visually grainy, but it feels like an older film. It feels like a throwback classic that we would have loved, 30 years ago. So it hits kind of a nostalgia button for me as well, which was surprising. I was not expecting that. Now, as far as fan reaction goes, it's been kind of torn on this one. I know a lot of people love it. There's been a lot of people out there saying that they didn't like it at all. Cognetti himself has actually come out a couple of times on Twitter speaking to the reception that the film has gotten. But really, anybody coming out of this saying that they hate it, I don't know what they were expecting, right? Anybody that goes into a movie and then leaves absolutely hating it probably has their standards too high, which is something that we see, across movie fandoms right now, right? Everything is either the best thing that's ever come out or it's complete dumpster fire. This is middle of the road horror. It's very, very good. It's very well done. Is it genre breaking? No. But is it genre burning? Like, is it going to bring horror to the ground because it was so horrible, or does it deserve trash talking? Absolutely not. It's a well done film. The crew put in a lot of hard work. The cast did a really, really good job with this. I thought they were very, very good. So yeah, overall, I mean, not something to necessarily write home about, but not something to be all pissed off and miserable about either, right? There have been far more disappointing movies this month, particularly, Witchboard being one of them. But yeah, overall, good flick. I enjoyed it. If you have a chance to see it, definitely do. I know it's scheduled for a Shudder release, I believe, on the 27th of October. Definitely a good time to check it out. If you have a chance to see it in theaters and you can get in at a discount, do it. I don't know that I would pay $20 to go see this, but I would pay $5 to rent it for sure. It's a good film, but again, nothing spectacular, right? And unfortunately, this is following on the heels of films this year like Sinners and Weapons. So horror is in a overall very good place, and I think because of the strength of some of the horror films that we've gotten this year, some of the ones that are just good and fun and enjoyable tend to take a kind of a kick to the groin because of that. But this was a good one, and if I ever got a chance to meet Stephen Cognetti, I'd have numerous questions about why he decided to do the film this way. What his thought process was and how he approached it, because you can see his growth as a director here. If you start with Hell House LLC and work your way through, you can see different tricks and styles, and his voice is starting to come through. I guess voice is more writing. His singular vision, I'll put it that way, is starting to come through more and more in the films that he does, which I think is commendable. It's good. We get a lot of cookie cutter crap that's put together by council or by panel now. So it's really good to see something else original come. But yeah, those are my thoughts on House Lineage. I know this was kind of a short one. Not a whole lot to say about this movie, but yeah, if you get a chance to see it, go see it. It's worth a watch. But thanks for joining in. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, please. That definitely helps helps me get out there. But appreciate your time, and until we catch you next time, go watch a movie. Just go sit in a dark theater with a bunch of strangers and get your head out of the real world for a while. Cheers.